January 2025. We will witness a detailed analysis of the successful repulsion of a major Russian offensive in the Siversky direction. As the enemy advances toward the village with armored vehicles, they are closely monitored by the Ukrainian defensive line. Russian forces enter the area with MTLB armored vehicles and continue their push forward. Although the road is lined with mine barriers, the first MTLB manages to pass without triggering one. The second MTLB, however, hits a mine, but the first continues advancing. At this point, anti-tank systems engage and strike the advancing MTLB. Despite the hit, the Russian armored vehicle continues moving. An FPV drone is deployed to attack, but even after this strike, the MTLB keeps going. Heavy bombardment drones are then prepared for another attack. The MTLB eventually halts and begins unloading its personnel. At this moment, the heavy bombardment drones target the drop-off points, delivering highly effective strikes, particularly using 2-kilogram anti-personnel munitions. The bombardment drone performs exceptionally well, neutralizing the invading forces. A group of Russian infantry reaches the defensive line and engages in direct combat, launching grenades and even attempting to throw an anti-tank mine into a defensive position. However, the Ukrainian defense forces respond swiftly, overwhelming the enemy with counterattacks. As the intense firefight continues, artillery support is unavailable due to the close proximity of friendly forces to the enemy. Following their failed assault, the Russian infantry decides to retreat. Their movement is significantly slowed by barbed wire obstacles, which are particularly effective during winter and night operations. The enemy tries to cross the wire using wooden planks. Meanwhile, artillery fire can be seen in the area. These are Russian artillery strikes. The Ukrainian army avoids using its own artillery in such situations to prevent endangering its troops. At this point, Ukrainian FPV drones are deployed, successfully striking and wounding Russian infantry. Shortly after, a vampire drone arrives and launches its first attack. Consecutive bomb drops and FPV strikes eliminate all Russian infantry in the area. The remaining members of the Russian group stay further back, away from the main combat zone. However, Ukrainian forces detect these troops as well. The Russian soldiers are then eliminated with FPV drone strikes. By the end of the day, Ukrainian forces successfully repel the attack, neutralizing 30 enemy personnel and 5 armored vehicles. Throughout the battle, the coordinated efforts of aerial drone support and defensive units played a crucial role in ensuring the failure of the Russian assault. March 2025. Ukrainian paratroopers of the 95th Air Assault Brigade detect Russian mechanized units in the Kursk region and launch a major operation. Russian forces enter the area with armored vehicles, but Ukrainian troops swiftly counterattack, targeting these vehicles. As a result of the inflicted damage, the vehicles are forced to stop, and the Russian personnel inside dismount. However, Ukrainian forces seize the opportunity to launch a second assault, neutralizing both the vehicles and the Russian infantry accompanying them. Following the attack, the remaining armored vehicles are destroyed one by one. Some surviving Russian infantrymen attempt to flee to different locations in the area. However, Ukrainian forces continue the pursuit, eliminating them one by one and solidifying the operation's success. These Russian troops have no chance of escape due to Ukraine's effective tracking strategy. Some Russian infantry seek shelter in the ruins of a village, but they are soon detected and struck by Ukrainian drone operators. This highlights Ukraine's superior aerial capabilities, as drone strikes leave no safe haven for Russian forces and determine the outcome of the operation. Ultimately, Ukrainian troops repel the Russian assault, secure the area, and successfully defend their position. This operation, carried out with both ground forces and aerial support, demonstrates the highly integrated and effective nature of Ukraine's military strategy. March 4, 2025. In Shcherbakivka, Kharkiv region, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams detect Russian positions and relay their coordinates to higher command. Once the location data is verified, Ukrainian forces launch a pre-planned operation. The Russian positions in the area come under heavy artillery fire and kamikaze drone strikes. As explosions shake the front lines, Russian troops suffer heavy losses and some soldiers are forced to abandon their positions. Cut off from support and unable to retreat, some Russian infantrymen attempt to survive by infiltrating and hiding in various structures within the area. However, Ukrainian forces, leveraging prior intelligence and advanced tracking systems, monitor enemy movements step by step. Using drones and thermal imaging systems, they scan the area, pinpointing the hidden Russian soldiers and conducting precision strikes. As a result of the successful attacks, all Russian infantry in the region are neutralized, solidifying Ukrainian control over Sherbakivka. March 4, 2025. In the Toretsk direction of the Donetsk region, 2 Ukrainian soldiers from the 12th Azov Special Forces Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard encounter a Russian soldier while on patrol. The Russian soldier cautiously moves through a barbed wire enclosed area, unaware that a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone is tracking him from above. As the drone records his every move, the Ukrainian infantrymen observe him from a distance. It remains unclear why the Russian soldier is in the area, whether he is conducting reconnaissance, inspecting positions, or carrying out an operation. However, Ukrainian forces perceive his presence as a potential threat and continue to monitor him closely. Shortly after, the Ukrainian soldiers decide to act before the situation escalates further. They carefully emerge from their positions, take precise firing stances, and launch a sudden